other way around. It's been a really fascinating couple of hours listening to what everyone is up to and what they're planning in what will be an absolutely amazing year. I'm Katie Sadlier. I'm the Chief Executive of the Commonwealth Games Federation, and I have been in the role for 12 months. And the last year, I got the privilege of seeing the Commonwealth Games in action in this role, and I know that I'm still meeting people who are smiling and talking about what they saw during that wonderful time in Birmingham. So turning to 2023, and yes, it will be fun. I mean, everyone has youth on the agenda. We are an organization that's not quite as old as the Royal Society, but we are almost at 100 years. But youth is incredibly important to who we are and what we do. Our role is to connect the Commonwealth through sport. But in doing so, we definitely understand that sport is just the beginning. The Commonwealth Youth Games is a very, very special event that is now on to its 7th year. It started back in 2020 in Edinburgh under the stewardship of Dame Louise Martin, who is our president and puts in her apologies today. She would have loved to have been here. But we are really looking forward to going to Trinidad and Tobago. I have had the privilege of being there once already to sort of see the magical Twin Islands and the facilities that await our youth in what will be an absolutely amazing event. So on that note, I'm going to pass it on to the Minister to give you a bit of the excitement and insight to what the youth of the Commonwealth will experience.
Thank you, Katie. Secretary General, Deputy Secretary General, Minister colleagues, distinguished youths, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It's indeed a pleasure and a privilege to be chosen to host the 7th Commonwealth Youth Games in the beautiful Twin Island Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. This is the very first time a Caribbean country is going to host the Commonwealth Youth Games, and we are really, really excited. Sporting excellence. Our athletes in Trinidad and Tobago have been blazing trails for many, many years. The very recent Commonwealth Games in Birmingham 2023, you saw the likes of Jerry Richards, you saw the likes of Nicholas Paul take the world by storm. So we are happy to bring over 1,000 athletes and 500 support staff to Trinidad and Tobago to showcase athletic excellence of the Commonwealth family. We have world-class facilities. Over the years, our country has invested in building state-of-the-art facilities, whether it's a National Cycling Velodrome, which is now the only UCI World Cycling Center in the American region, the National Aquatic Center, where we've hosted games like the Pan Am Games, and we are now refurbishing our Hasty Crawford Stadium. What is interesting is that the games are going to take place both in Trinidad and in Tobago, so you'll get a taste of both islands and all that we have to offer, our beautiful people, our hospitality, our eclectic, unique culture, and all that Trinidad and Tobago has to offer through our rich heritage. We are positioning ourselves as a leader in the Caribbean for sport tourism and a hub for development for sport in the Caribbean and the American region. For us, this is more than sport. It's about a long-standing relationship in the Commonwealth family. It's about culture, it's about building friendship and fair play. We seek to promote, to inspire. We are using our athletes and our sporting fraternity to inspire athletes, to inspire upcoming athletes, to inspire young people to participate in sport. So we are showing off all that Trinidad has to offer, because sport has been a major development tool for young people in Trinidad and Tobago. We are increasing the appetite of our stakeholders for sport, for physical education. And through that, we move on to engagement, engaging schools, engaging communities to participate in sport, engaging stakeholders who wouldn't have usually participated in sporting activities to collaborate with the government, with the Commonwealth family in promoting sport in Trinidad and Tobago and throughout the Commonwealth. This is very important for us as a country because we are redoubling and revitalizing our efforts to have mandatory sporting programs at the school level. I just left Jamaica last week, collaborating with the Jamaican government through the Minister of Sport there, Minister Olivia Babsy-Grange, and the team in Jamaica who have been very open and very committed to showing us what they have done in sport, utilizing science to promote sport and especially utilizing sport at the early childhood education levels and primary school levels towards developing sport and development through sport. We now look at sports. No, please go back to the last slide. The maximizing the full potential of sport to unite communities for inclusion, for including the disabled athletes. We have the para-athletics part of the games taking place, and we see this as a unique opportunity to promote the participation of women and girls in sport. We then move to empowerment. Through revitalizing and rebuilding, refurbishing our sporting facilities in Trinidad and Tobago, we are equipping our people with the necessary resources so they can plan and host their own sporting activities. There's skills training taking place for the development of our personnel in sport, and we are partnering with not only our friends from GC Foster, University of Technology in Jamaica, but also throughout the Commonwealth to train sport personnel to go out to the schools, to go out to the communities, so we can truly utilize sport as an instrument, or should I say a driver of peace, as we not only celebrate the Year of Youth, but also the Year of Peace throughout the Commonwealth. It's about creating a legacy, building partnerships, increasing integration of sport in schools, increasing and understanding the importance of the Commonwealth. And I think that this event and all the activities surrounding the Year of Youth are of tremendous importance. The younger generation oftentimes do not understand the importance of the Commonwealth and what it means to us as a Commonwealth family. I am 41 years old now. I was only 16 when the Commonwealth Youth Program came to Trinidad and Tobago and took on the task to train and retrain young people towards establishing youth councils. And through the years, the Commonwealth has been a helping hand, a listening ear, and have been caring and nurturing and never forgot us as youth. So it's important for us to continue to tell the stories and share our experiences in the Commonwealth, reminding our youngsters why it is still so relevant for us to maintain and sustain these relationships. Oftentimes we trade and we work with other countries, but there is something different offered by the Commonwealth, and that's the human side. That is about promoting humanity, promoting destiny, perseverance, and hope for all our youngsters throughout the Commonwealth. We turn now to youth development, youth advocacy, youth voice, youth representation, having young people be a part of the decision-making process and influencing policies and strategies as it relates to binding the Commonwealth together and transforming our lives through sport, of values. For us, this sporting initiative is about more than medals. We look at the ability of sport to unite people, to provide personal and professional opportunities for our youngsters, and to transform our communities individually and collectively. We look at social inclusion, friendship, and fair play, promoting volunteerism. We had the opportunity to work hand in hand with the stakeholders from Birmingham 2022 Commonwealth Games. And one thing we have learned is the importance of revitalizing that spirit of volunteerism, not only among youth, but throughout the entire Commonwealth. We move now to rights to play. The right of a child to play, the right of us as human beings to participate in sport and physical education, creating policies to protect and promote the student athlete. Oftentimes we say we must start at the school level, but we don't usually have the necessary policies and guidelines to provide that space for the student athlete to excel academically and also athletically, through athletics. Too often, or students have to choose between athletics and academics. We must find a way to strike that balance so they can work hand in hand. The right to access sport by providing access to sporting clubs, both in the urban and the rural areas throughout the Commonwealth, giving financial support and technical assistance so that children in the rural communities can have access to opportunities through sport, and mandatory funding for sport. We often say we want sports to exist at school level. In the Caribbean region and throughout the Commonwealth, as we learned earlier today, we have the same types of challenges where we want sport and the education system to work hand in hand. But by the way we are structured and how we have been practicing sport and education throughout the years, there is a divide, there is a gap that needs to be filled, and there's need for much more cooperation even within that same country. This is not only a developing country problem, it is a challenge throughout the Commonwealth. In many countries, an allocation is given to schools or to the education system, and principals and teachers are asked to, whatever's left, we spend that on sport. No. This is the time for us to say a specific percentage, whether it's 10%, 20%, must be put aside for sport development in schools. It shouldn't be a sidebar type of activity, but an intrinsic part of our development program in the development of our youngsters through our education system. And I am pleased to know that my colleague ministers have the same concerns, and the Commonwealth Secretariat is already on the ball in doing the work in lobbying development agencies and other governments to get that collaboration done. As our dear Secretary General said earlier today, we shouldn't spend the same penny on the same activity once. If the research and the groundwork is already done in one area of the Commonwealth, then we all can benefit and bind together. We must cooperate, coalesce, coordinate, and co-deliver together. The final area is sport, utilizing sport as an income generator and a wealth creator for youngsters, for communities, and for expanding our national economies. The improvement of facilities for us, both in our individual countries and throughout the Commonwealth, because now with Trinidad and Tobago having the 6th World Cycling Center, the rest of the Americas, the rest of the Commonwealth can come to Trinidad and Tobago to practice, to develop in the area of cycling. And we are doing the same in the area of tennis and in aquatics, utilizing sport as an instrument, a driver for peace. Crime is a problem, a challenge for many of our Caribbean and Commonwealth countries, and we see over and over again that sport remains a tried, tested, and true tool in reducing crime, in uniting communities, and in building that spirit of peace and inclusivity. And finally, creating a culture of athletic and academic excellence, striking that balance that you do not have to choose between participation in sport and being and performing outstandingly in academics. They both can work together beautifully and brilliantly. On to the legacy. It's about building awareness of the Commonwealth through these games, building awareness for our young people. The Trinidad and Tobago 2023 Youth Voice. This is a platform or a conference that we are planning to bring together student athletes, to bring together student influencers, ministers of sport, ministers of youth, ministers of Health, and Ministers of Education. It is a call to action for everybody to get up and see the importance of sport, especially at the school level. Sport for schools and for communities, training, technical capacity building, and the exchange of coaches and other personnel to help to support sporting in schools and in our communities. And a major legacy project for us is the Dream Chasers program, where we are working with underprivileged youths from marginalized communities. We've given them a 1-year internship, and we are teaching them life skills, how to develop themselves into entrepreneurs, how to plan their careers, and how to utilize these skills to overcome poverty. The next slide. Now to the games. It's important that we highlight these four. Here we have Mr. Brian Lewis, immediate past president of the Trinidad and Tobago Olympic Committee, or Commonwealth Games Association. And these are the 3 young women who worked on developing the proposal to bring the Commonwealth Youth Games to Trinidad and Tobago. Yes, it was an almost all-female effort, of which we are very, very proud. We are going to be highlighting 4 games from August 4th to August 11th. 7 sporting disciplines. Athletics in Trinidad at our newly refurbished Hasely Crawford Stadium. Aquatics at our National Aquatic Center in Couva. Cycling at our National Cycling Velodrome and the only UCI World Cycling Center in the Americas. And then we take you to Tobago, where I'm from, a member of Parliament for Tobago West, and you will see what makes Tobago tick: the hospitality, the culture, the beauty of our beaches, and the warmth of our people. We are going to be doing the triathlon activities in Buku, home of the famous Buku Reef, the rugby sevens at Shaw Park Recreational Facility, the Fast 5 netball at Shaw Park Cultural Complex. And this is new for us, because when we built the Shaw Park Cultural Complex, it was built primarily for culture, yes, with sport in mind, but we had never explored utilizing the facility for netball. So for the first time, we are opening this facility and as an indoor sporting facility to host the Commonwealth Youth Games, and that in itself is a legacy project for Tobago and the people of Trinidad and Tobago. And of course, we couldn't let you leave Trinidad and Tobago without experiencing the paradise which is Pigeon Point Beach, and there we'll be hosting beach volleyball. So here we have 1,000 athletes, 500 officials, hundreds of family members and supporters making their way to our beautiful Twin Island Republic. And it's more than sport. We look at the economic impact. So far, we have already arranged over 5,000 hotel room nights for our guests. These people have to eat, or guests have to be transported. So we are looking at the economic impact in hosting a sporting activity of this nature. We are also promoting Trinidad and Tobago as the leading sport tourism destination in the Caribbean region. How can you help us? For us, one of the most impactful part of this project is to promote and preserve, to bring to the fore the youth voice through a youth conference. And we are asking the Commonwealth to assist us in lobbying government and development agencies. Now, this slide was made before we had our meeting today, and I must say, I'm very pleased to share with you that the Commonwealth Secretariat is already on the ball, getting the work done, speaking to stakeholders, not only in the Caribbean region, but throughout the Commonwealth. So we won't have to pay to learn the same lessons twice. And of course, technical and financial assistance. At the end of the day, it's about utilizing sport for the development of youth, the transformation of our people, the expansion of our economy, and keeping that love, unity, and sense of family within the Commonwealth. I take you now to our video where we can show a little taste of what Trinidad and Tobago has to offer.
I know, this country sweet, I know, Patrice again. curry pot over 3 stone is big lime by the river. I know, I know, I know, I know. We don't divide. In the morning we quarreling, in the evening we all liming together. I know, I know, I know, I know. Like when the steel pan and rhythm section play with that sweetness, you don't want to stay. A hammock under a mango tree, go take all your stress away. So come here, so come here, so come. We go jump, come jump in my island. Pick your destination, understand that this is the place to go. Come jump up and somebody, woman you don't know. This is the place to go. Come free up your mind and let go to calypso. This is the place to go. It's fat and you wait till tomorrow. Back and knowledge, drama, we tempo. Want to see the greatest festival in this world. This is the place to go. I know, I know, I know. This is the place to go. I know, I know, I know. Huh, where can you find beautiful masqueraders parading the streets, ready to party? I know, I know, I know, I know. It's part of our life. As we wake up, it's straight till the night. Plenty vibes in the city. I know, I know, I know, I know. Like when the steel pan and rhythm section play with that sweet.
Thank you very much for your attention, and we look forward to hosting you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Honorable Cudjoe. I believe I speak for all of us when I say that we'd love to visit the beautiful islands of Trinidad and Tobago.